Welcome to Wednesday, the 24th day of September 2025. Your DayWeather podcast brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at WyomingAdvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Well, it's back to nice September weather here in the days ahead. We're going to have a return of high pressure, warmer temperatures, and this very cool, wet storm system that brought rain and snow, a lot of rain to some of you in that narrow band. Well, we're now going to go back into just some really pleasant September weather. So we're going to enjoy some warmer temperatures, some drier conditions, but we will have a cutoff area of low pressure that'll be hanging out over Southern California and the Great Basin states through the weekend. And what this is going to do is produce occasional areas of showers and thunderstorms in the desert Southwest and parts of the Southern Rockies through the weekend, with fair, very quiet weather elsewhere. That long-term model trend I told you about yesterday continues. We're still expecting something right around the 1st or 2nd of October, but we just have to stay tuned as we get a better idea of what's going to be going on out in the Pacific. But overall, we're going to hit a pretty quiet stretch of weather. That's not until after we saw the winter weather in the high country, snow on the mountains above Leadville, in the Tetons, a little dusting of snow, and then a lot of snow down into the north central and northern mountains of Colorado, Rocky Mountain National Park in particular. Now, the snow levels stayed pretty high. This was just not a very cold system, but nonetheless, impressive snow over a small part of the central and northern mountains of Colorado, especially as you got above that 10,000 foot level. Then as the storm finally pulled out, nice sunset across southeastern Wyoming yesterday evening. There were a lot of locations across central and southern Wyoming that picked up half to an inch and a half or more of rain. A lot of areas are right around an inch or more, even into parts of the Red Desert. That's just fabulous moisture, parts of the Bighorn and Wind River Basin areas as well. And then that heavier moisture moved into the northern and northeastern areas of Colorado. That storm system now is kind of falling apart a little bit, but is now heading into the middle part of the United States, and it will be moving into the Great Lakes today. You can see a lot of clear skies in the west. We're going to have some low clouds. There will be some low clouds and fog in many areas to start the day after a pretty chilly night, some frost in some areas. And the rain is going to make for some fog formation in some pockets this morning. You can see this area of cloudiness just off the Southern California coast. That's associated with the cutoff upper low that you can see very well here on the water vapor. So you can see the dry air around the upper level low in California. Yesterday's storm system heading into the central part of the United States. So this guy is just going to spin on its heels. It's cut off from the main jet stream flow, which is up here, and it's just going to hang around, as you can see here, off the coast of California with high pressure building in. So by noon today, things start to move and conditions begin to change. And we continue this through the weekend. This is for Friday. One thing about Friday, notice up here along the U.S.-Canadian border, there's a little wave moving through very quickly. So there is going to be a little bit of a cold front moving across Montana through the Dakotas, and this could send slightly cooler air south along and east of the divide. As this wave moves along the U.S.-Canadian border, it'll pick the wind up as well a bit, but it really won't produce much weather in the sense of clouds and precipitation, but a little bit of a fluctuation in temperature. There you can see the low over Death Valley, near Las Vegas there, and it's just going to hang around. And with that low spinning around through the weekend, this is for Sunday, you're going to see showers and thunderstorms along and west of the divide, fair weather conditions developing elsewhere. We've got hurricane activity ramping up out in the Atlantic. That'll be something to keep an eye on and may be newsmakers as we go into next week. So you can see that generally west to southwest flow aloft. We've got this next low coming in. That's what's going to come around the 1st of October. But warm temperatures are going to be the rule for the next 5 days. So for the next 5 days, these are the temperature anomalies. Well above average up here, closer to average or below average underneath that upper level low in the desert Southwest, and then Temperatures just a bit above average and really very comfortable. So back to nice September weather. So grab the camera this weekend. Get ready to check out some more fall colors because this will be a good weekend to go out and do that. The exception will be in the desert Southwest and the Southern Rockies, as you can see. Showers and thunderstorms. This is cumulative over 5 days. So it's not going to get everybody wet, but there's going to just be pesky shower activity. California, Arizona, New Mexico in particular, but even up north and near Las Vegas, over to near Salt Lake and along the Wasatch, and into southwestern and western Colorado, and a few showers in western Wyoming, but very little else elsewhere. So now we go into next week, which is, well, when's the next change? Well, we still have some discrepancies in the models. They're better than we showed you yesterday. But what's tricky about this next wave coming in towards the middle of next week, right around the 1st or 2nd of October, is that we do have a lot of energy up in the Pacific Northwest, up into the Gulf of Alaska. Very strong jet stream winds, as we've been telling you. And what will happen is these waves will break off the bigger wave and come across the western United States. But if the spacing between these troughs changes a little bit and you get more high pressure in between the waves, that allows these systems to dig in further south and come in stronger than the model suggests. The models a lot of times will want to make the flow too flat, meaning too horizontal, too west to east with not much change in latitude when you get these really strong jet stream winds up there. So that's why we're a little suspicious on the middle of next week and towards the beginnings of October. So the European model shows this. The AI version has got a big difference. The European regular model has a strong low in the Gulf of Alaska. The AI version keeps it more up here, which might mean more spacing between the waves. The Canadian model is now bringing a pretty decent front and wave in right around the 1st, and the GFS model is somewhat closer to the European models. But when you see all this energy up here in these lows, the cold air and the moisture up in the Gulf of Alaska wanting to come into the western United States, you can't take these models at face value. You never should take a model at face value. So that's why we're a little bit suspect on what's going to happen around the 1st or 2nd of October. It could end up being a pretty strong front, and it could end up being a weak one. But that's the next change. That's the next time frame towards the middle of next week when we're going to have more significant weather. Between now and then, other than that low in the desert Southwest, not much else will be going on. Have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.